Hey everybody, so here we are again. I'm going to try and do some painting. Today I'm going to try to touch up this little character. It's one I painted about a year ago, and she's got some significant, I don't know, flaws. So that's what I'll go with. I'll say flaws. And here's the deal. I'm not happy with it. It's somebody, I painted it for somebody else, and I wanted to, it was for a D&D. It's actually for my daughter-in-law. And I looked at it. I mean, I guess it looks okay. I mean, it's got decent details, and I'm trying to see if I can get this light on here a little bit better. But the problem is, for me anyway, is that this looks a little bulky. Okay, so all right, first of all, let me preface this. I am by no means amateur, or I mean, no, I'm definitely amateur. By no means an expert at any of this. So if I go and try and fix something, really all I'm thinking is maybe make the lines a little cleaner. I don't think I used a magnifying glass. And one of the things I've noticed, I made the mistake of looking at some of my previous models. And it's one thing to look at previous models, but a whole nother thing to look at them under a magnifying glass. So if you don't like something, the surest way to make sure, if you're not sure about something, the surest way to be definitely turned off to it is to look at it under a magnifying glass. Because a magnifying glass will definitely tell you all of your flaws. Now, I think the best painters can paint, and their items would look good under a magnifying glass. Maybe they paint under a magnifying glass. I just started doing that myself. If I can get this guy to focus a little bit here. All right, there he goes, a little bit focused. If you were to try and paint this guy, he's very little. I mean, this is a little halfling, so, your typical model is, oh, this is a chibi version, so, a lot bigger. And then, your 25 millimeter regular guy. So you can see, these guys are, fairly disparate in size. So you put a lot of detail on a little halfling who's literally up to Bruce Lee's waist here. And here's Donald. Donald's actually short, and even he's bigger than this halfling is. So these are kind of some minis that I painted before. So anyway, so you've tried to do a lot of detail on one of these little guys, and you're going to have some challenges. Okay, so what I'm decided to do is I'm going to try to see if I can clean it up a little bit. I don't know if I can. I am still, by all means, maybe we'll call myself advanced amateur or a beginner novice. I'm certainly not journeyman. A journeyman is probably somebody who's been doing it for a long time, but just never really got good. It's kind of like a boxer who's fought 50 fights and won 25 of them. So I'm kind of that guy. I'm not quite a journeyman. I'm more like the guy who's I don't know, fought 5 times in 5 years, and currently 2-3. 3-2. Maybe I'm 3-2. I'm probably not as bad as that, but still, I'm not doing great. So then there's those experts, who may have started off 7-9 or whatever it is, but are now winning all of their fights, and they're prolific. They're kicking those puppies out. They've fought 50 fights, and now they're 48-2 or something, 41-7, whatever, 41-9. Anyway, okay, so I know my analogy is terrible. I'm just getting totally off the track. So anyway, the goal here is to try to make him better. I try to put little lights on him, but as you can see, the lights aren't quite giving him the amplification or the brightness that I was hoping for. Just trying to change up his angles a little, so maybe this camera will see it. Hello. It's close. It's just about getting that focus in there right. And the lights are coming in from the top, so it's not able to get too much visual acuity, but I think... hello. Come on, camera. Pick it up. Show them the terribleness. Let's see. Come on. Come on. I know. I'm torturing those that are stopping by to look. I'm trying to show them how to see this. It looks like it's just not going to get too close. So that's a whole nother issue there. So this is about as close as I'm going to get, it looks like. You can kind of see it, but it's not great. All kinds of tricks to try to get cameras to focus. Ultimately, this guy's just not there. He's little enough that it just makes it difficult too to get a good zoom. I don't have an SLR that's able to look at this thing in the closeness that we'd like to. So right now I'm using a phone, an older phone that can actually does okay in viewing, but it's not ideal. So it's better than the, I was using a C922 Logitech. That's actually what's using, that's what's saying, hello. That's what you're seeing my face in right there. So that's my C922. It would not focus for anything, getting anything close. It would only basically focus on the far away here. The phone camera is way better at focusing, a little bit more responsive, but still you can't get that close. This is just too little of a character. Just doesn't allow you to get good positioning on him. And he does all right. I mean, I think if I stick like, you know, Mickey Mouse in here, see, Mickey's pretty good. You can get a pretty good view of Mickey there. And so that's kind of how I did Mickey there. I even put some little stars on his staff. They came out pretty good, I think. I don't know if you can see him there. Plus my screen might be too small. Maybe he's plenty focused and plenty easy to see. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Is it viewable? I don't know. Okay, so that's the best I can do for showing off what I've worked on there. So painting today. I want to try and fix her up a little bit. And let's see. Oh. See my little display, my little rotator display. I can put any mini on this little thing, and any one of my minis will do a little rotation for you. I'll do a little dance. I created this because it's just using some flex iron and some magnets. You know, these different guys on there. And I like this. I made it really small like this because I wanted to stick it up in my in the X case. You know, we gotta always everything I do, minis wise, has got to be able to fit in the X case, because that's these cases you see back here that have paints all in the all around. There's actually this is actually 8 units behind you. You're only seeing 2 because the camera's only seeing 2 of them, but it's actually a stack of 8. It goes all the way up. See. And those top ones have my minis in them. Well, one of them does anyway. So, anyway. That is why this is so small. So like my little demo. Plus I can take little videos of it, you know, I can do a video and just kind of do a camera and just spin it a little bit, and it'll get a picture of it in 3D view. And then I can just stick this little guy in my case, and when I walk around, he'll spin. anytime I walk around, you know, my little guy will be in there spinning. Maybe if, you know, balance is right or not right, I don't know, whatever it takes to make something that's round spin. I got some RuneScape figures recently, and I just picked out a couple of my a couple that I want to paint at some point. This is one of the heroes, I think. Is it RuneScape? No. It's, yeah, I guess it is RuneScape. I don't know. But I also have this guy. There's a bunch of them in there that I want to paint. I don't paint armies, so there's a bunch of armies in there, you know, just bulk guys. But I wanted to be able to paint a couple of the cooler, bigger figs. Like this guy's going to be kind of neat to paint. Pretty cool dragon-like guy. He's kind of undead dragon. So I got to get him primered, and we'll start getting him painted soon. Hey, look, I put, so this guy's problem is his stand broke. So I got to get me a new little tube to stand him up. See? Lame little stand broke off. I was trying to get it into his butt. I was trying to stick the piece in here, and it broke off. And then I tried to glue it, put some green stuff in there, and try to fill the gap, and fail. So now I got to clean it out, get a new thing in there, and see if I can figure out a new way. Maybe I'll just have to, I don't know, come up with a, maybe I'll have to pin it or something crazy. Anyway, okay. So let's do something. Let's start opening this. Okay, so I wear magnifying glass now because I have determined that nothing is cooler than working with magnifying glasses except being looked at. When you're seen wearing these, you look like you're 95 years old. And I'm just going to go ahead and put on my spectacles here. Let me see what you got there, little young man. Let's see. Yes, I really... Oh, yeah, I can see what you're talking about. He's got some, yeah, definitely a bit heavy on the paint there, sir. You're gonna have to do some fine work to make that one improve. I said, thanks, Gramps. Thanks for calling out the information I already knew. So the way this is decorated on the base is I use green stuff and a print. The little rubber prints. You put a little Vaseline on them, I guess, so they don't stick to the green stuff. Then you squish it onto the green stuff, and it kind of supposed to make it look like a fern. And if you look closely, you probably can't see that there's like little fern leaves and stuff. And then I try to paint them with green and stuff, but some of the spots are kind of smooshy, so obviously did not print very well. And also, I think it would have been better to have printed. I think I made it printed with her on there, which probably wasn't great. I should have probably put the stuff on, printed, and then squished her into it somehow. I think I did it the wrong way, and as a result, some of the prints are like overlapping because I had to, try to do it in a circle. That's what I think happened. Right now, I mean, it's solid. Looks okay. I guess if I amplify those leaves a little bit. Anyway, my son gave the figure back to me just so that I could put some varnish on it. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can fix it. I would almost prefer just to get another one and paint it, but I don't know if I'm good enough a painter yet to justify that maneuver. What I could probably do is I'm thinking about putting in maybe some highlights and some shading. And maybe even, maybe I can do some edge highlights. But edge highlights of something this small is still pretty hard. Even with my old man goggles. My old man goggles will let me get nice and close, and I can see all the details. And I can also see the fact that, hey, this woman has no pupils. She just got whites of her eyes. Oh, and she's got eyebrows that I did not actually paint. Oh my gosh. Why did I not paint her eyebrows? Probably because it's really tiny. And when you're trying to paint... Yeah, there's a big difference between painting without goggles. I mean, I can see all the details. It's just that they're such smaller targets. So when you want to make something work, when small targets giant brush, small targets. Now, granted, it's true that when you put the brush under the magnifying glass, it's also, it's much bigger. But for some reason, just the fact that you're aiming at a smaller target seems to make it easier to do. Let's prove that theory. Let's do some painting. Okay, so I've done this for 13 minutes. I'm not a long painter. I'm typically not the guy who's going to paint for 4 hours. So you watch me, you can get an hour, maybe 2 out of me. I think I actually did 3 or 4 the other day because I watched a movie. I watched Justice League. Yeah, I think it was Justice League. I actually did Lord of the Rings once too. So sometimes when I do long movies, then you can. Yeah, I have a job interview tomorrow. Woohoo! 4 hours, 11 to 3 o'clock. That will be fun. Yeah, 4 hours of interviewing for. Ugh, that's gonna be exciting. Anyway, so tomorrow will be filled with that, half my day. All right, so first things first, let's do something. I wanted to put a bowstring on her. I thought that would have been cool, but I don't know. I've seen people do it with various things. I don't know. What would I put on there though? What would I use for a bowstring? I'm guessing. I don't know. You'd use a hair. But see, that just seems like such fine work. I don't know. You put a touch of super glue on one end, super glue on the other, and then you string a piece of hair between them. I've actually seen people who actually used super glue. I mean, that's all they did. Is super glue can get stringy, and they basically touch it, and then when they just stretch it out. I've seen people do that, and then when it gets hard, it's basically a hard string, and then you can paint it or whatever. I mean, you don't have to paint it, right? Because it's supposed to be clear. You want it to be clear anyway. So you just have this little string running from one end to the other, and it's really just glue. I don't know how they do that because it's hard to stretch something like super glue, but I think if you have the dried out kind of hairy super glue, it might work. I've never tried to manipulate super glue like that. Usually I find those hairs just an annoyance that you have to deal with when your glue starts to dry out. But I don't know if you can. I think you'd have to play with it while it's drying, and super glue dries pretty quick. And how you get it to maybe put it on the top so that it wants to drip down, so pulling it down. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe use a toothpick. It'd be interesting to play with sometime. If I ever did that, I don't know if I would do it on video, basically because I'd be fumbling through it, and it would be an experiment in futility for me. That showing off my futile efforts in experimentation is not great. Just like when I created my little circular Lazy Susan thing, I wanted to do it on video, but you know what? I gotta tell you, streaming is not easy. It's not even the streaming that's hard. I mean, getting on here and talking to myself, that's easy. Everybody talks to themselves. You don't always do it with your lips moving, so that's the only difference, right, between your normal talking to yourself in your head and getting in arguments with yourself. Should I do this? Should I not? Oh, no, but if you do that, blah, blah. No, it's you're doing it with your lips. You're doing exactly what all those people told you not to do when reading. Don't move your lips when you're reading. You don't need to, and you'll be much faster for it. Okay, so here's another reason I don't get much done when I paint. I get caught off on tangents. I start talking about what I'm going to do and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So if you're coming here to watch me paint and not hear me talk, then you probably don't want to be here at all. So if you're looking at any of my videos, here's the deal. I do not recommend you coming here just to watch me paint. For one, I'm not a great painter. Second, I don't stay on task. That's not my thing. I'll talk about all kinds of stuff. I'll stop. I'll paint. I might paint. But I've been doing this now for 18 minutes. And I haven't even lifted my brush longer enough other than to tell you what I'm going to do. And now I'm getting hot. So I'm going to have to take my sweatshirt off. See? Another distraction. Think of me as the SpongeBob of miniature painting. You know, just, yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging away. I got things to do, got lots to do. I say that because there was an episode of SpongeBob. Yes, I had young kids at one point, and they loved SpongeBob. And to be honest, I loved SpongeBob. SpongeBob was funny. I don't know if he's still funny. I think I've seen a few of his recent episodes, and they're mildly funny. But I think the best ones, you know, I think SpongeBob might be past his prime. His funniness may be wearing out. Either that, or I've just finally gotten used to him. You know, it's like, to anybody new to SpongeBob might like the current ones. But, you know, we watched how many seasons of it was there. I don't know, are there current SpongeBobs? Is he still going? I'll probably be cold in about 2 minutes. And then I'm getting thirsty. Oh, yeah. Here's another fig I recently got. Okay, so I've only painted one big fig. See, I don't even think my halfling here would be considered lunch for this guy. I don't think he'd even be like throwing a grape up into his mouth. Anyway, I've only painted one bigger fig, and it was a bronze, not even a bronze dragon. It was a steampunk dragon. You know, cloth wings with metal framing. He was a metal dragon. And, yeah, I'll have to show that one sometime, but I don't have it down here. I had actually, oh yeah, I do, it's over there. I actually broke his wings in a ridiculous scenario. I stream my workouts in the morning. So I have this big board on the window so it doesn't wash me out too much, you know, lighting stuff. But it's just a big, kind of like a cardboard, styrofoam board, whatever. And it was sitting behind my display, a display of these X cases. But there was only 4 of them stacked straight up. Normally you want to have a couple of them connected side by side so you can kind of fold them a little bit, and then it creates a better, more stable surface. But I just had 4 of them stacked up. And they were just sitting up against the back of the wall with the board behind it, and the board fell forward when I was moving it one time, and it pushed the display over. Well, my steampunk dragon was sitting in front of it. And it whack, slapped right on top of it, knocked the dragon off of its little display and onto the floor. The floor wasn't enough. I mean, it's plastic landing on a carpet. That's not a thing. I mean, you know, it would have been fine if it wasn't for the fact that it had 4 plastic containers falling on top of it. And one of the wings broke, but the other one just bent a little bit. And I was actually able to straighten it out. And I thought, well, I'll just glue the other one on. So I put the dragon back up, put the display back up. 2 days later, I did the exact same thing. I pulled the board over to cover one of the windows, and it leaned forward again and pushed the thing right on top of the dragon. Pushed the 4-piece cases over, right on top of the dragon again. Guess what? The second wing did not survive. Yeah, not great. So then I had to glue both wings back on. Yeah, that was great. I actually glued the wings back on. I did not pin them. And I'm hoping that I'm looking from here, they appear to still be connected to them. Interestingly enough, they appear to have broken in such a way that they actually had like a I want to say broke off with a piece of plastic lump that acted almost like a pin. Some stability. It was just the way it broke, I guess. And so then when I put it in there, it kind of slotted on there nicely on one side. The other side was just normal. And they're really tiny. I'm going to go get it because I'm distracted again. I'm off on one of my tangents, and I'm going to show you my tangent. Okay, so in my distraction, this is the guy I painted. It's my little, my bronze dragon. And it's one of the first guys I think I painted with my magnifying glass. I think he came out pretty decent. I mean, he's probably not by any means considered spectacular, but I thought he was alright. So Anyway, his wings broke off right at the base. Right there and right there. So, as you can imagine, in my attempts to, actually they seem to have glued on pretty good. They're pretty straight still. Got to be kind of careful because of course they've broken the most precarious spots. One of them's right above the base there, and one's actually a little higher. And probably could use a little bit more glue on, or paint on these guys actually, on this guy. I don't know, the glue may have kind of mushed up some of the paint on one side. I think on this side you can kind of see right in there. This paint looks a little iffy at the base, but the glue, you can see the line. It's right there. Maybe you can't see the line. See right there. And the light I have coming off from my webcam phone. This is actually an older phone. We upgraded my phone about 2 years ago. And then I thought, well, you know what? I think a phone might be better at focusing than that C922, which seems to do okay if what it's looking at is 2 or 3 feet away. But something tiny like this guy cannot be seen 2 or 3 feet away for any useful purposes. So I needed it to be close, and this thing does not know how to do close. See, not close. Close, but no cigar. Probably thinks it's a cigar. Okay, so let's put this guy away, preferably somewhere where I don't drop him and knock his wings off. So if there's one thing I've got to do today in my stream, it's actually put the paintbrush on the figure. So let's do something. I'm going to put on my old man glasses. All right, you little whippersnapper. Let's put something on the paint. Let's put some eyebrows on this young lady. She is in need of some eyebrows. Yep, she certainly is. Oh, sure, dear sir, will you give me some eyebrows? My face looks ridiculous without some eyebrows, and I just need none. Who has flesh-colored eyebrows anyway? What? Who's honking at? Someone honking? Alright, so let's see. Alright, young lady, what color eyebrows would you like me to put on you? I'm thinking you should get some, how about me getting you some, what would this gnome? She's a little forest gnome. Little forest gnomes, you should get some, green eyebrows? No, she don't need no green eyebrows. What color eyebrows would a little forest gnome have? Blue eyebrows to go with her blue hair? No, we can't do that. No, brown. How about we go with some... I'm really kind of stumped. See, that's another problem of mine when it comes to mini painting. Picking the colors. I can sit there and stare at a character for 30 minutes or more and say, I don't know what color I want his eyebrows to be. It's too much difficulty for me. I don't know why I'm thinking it through so hard, because they're tiny. But you know, things with like the face, things like eyebrows and pupils, gosh, they're the hardest things to do, but they make the face look the best. I mean, they're the naturalist. I know, granted, if you do it terrible and you've got lines streaking across his face, it just looks like you came out of a crying contest. But hopefully, man, bootstrap leather. I don't know. What do you think, Mickey? Mickey, what should I do? Tell me, what do you think? Give her a look, Mickey. What do you think?
I don't know. I think you should go with something natural
natural. How about black? Oh, Mickey, you just want black because you're got black hair and black nose, and everything about you is black. No, everything's not black, you know. I like black. Well, you need to go back to your case over there, back over there. You don't know what you want. Donald probably likes blue because this stuff's all blue. And I can't do a Donald voice, even a little bit. Hey, Agape, how's it going? You just got into painting. Well, you know, I've been painting now for about 3 years, 4 years, and I've painted maybe 10 figures. So I paint really slow. It's like I'll sit down, and as you can see, I'm talking so much. I'm barely getting anything done right here, and it's no better when I'm not streaming. So I'll sit there and look, and I'll be watching TV, and I get into conversations with family, and then I look some more and try to decide. Like I said, I've probably got about maybe 10 figures that are fully painted, just 10. So I think if you're just starting off, Agape, you will be way better than me in a much less period of time with very little effort. So I may get better, you know, if I can get into a habit of streaming. I'm trying to get into a habit because I'm thinking streaming might help me to paint more. That's what I'm hoping. Plus, I can, you know, mumble and talk. Well, hopefully not mumble, but, you know, jabber. And I've been trying to get some friends. Oh, thanks. I have to entertain myself somehow. If I don't, I'll go nuts just staring at these figures. Plus quiet, you know, silence. I either have to have music or I have to talk to myself. And then if I have music, I start singing along because I like listening to oldies and I know a lot of the words to oldies, so I just keep singing. So, but I do appreciate it. I guess that's a good thing, right? You know, if you're going to come watch someone stream, you don't want to just watch them paint. I mean, I guess if they're really good, you want to watch them paint, but that's not why a person would come and watch me, I hope, because they're not going to get the entertainment value out of my painting skills. If they're coming here, I better try to be entertaining in some other way because it isn't going to be my skills. Dang, I don't know. Well, everything about her seems to be green and brown. To be honest, I don't think I have enough brown colors. I'm going to have to make my own brown. I'm lazy when it comes to that. I'd rather just own the paint color. I don't want to have to make them. I don't mind blending a couple of colors. Problem is, though, if you have to go touch it up later, and you're like, oh, what colors did I touch it up? I know a lot of people actually use a journal, a little notebook or something. I used to carry one around, and it was a good idea, but I kept, losing it, leaving it behind, putting it someplace. You have to mark down which character it is, what piece you're painting, what colors did you use to paint it. And that's another drawback to me finishing figures. So I'll start a figure. It takes me 6 months. I come back. I don't remember what paints I was using. It's like, oh, what color is that? Is that brown? Brown green? Is that chocolate brown? So it's like, forget it. Let's paint a different figure. So it's like I got to try to finish the color. At least finish it once. Finish the base color. Get it good. And then if I come back and if I need to touch it up, and if I miss it, I can just paint the whole thing a little bit, call it a highlight, call it a change. Anyway, I got it. Okay, I've been at this for how long now? 20 minutes? 35 minutes, and I haven't even painted anything yet. Come on, kid. I'm going to go with chocolate brown. I think chocolate brown will be a good eyebrow. I hope. The eyebrow is going to be like it's like a half a millimeter tall and maybe 2 millimeters long. So it's not like it's a lot of paint. Okay. So what's the first figure you're painting then? You say you just got into painting, so you're not saying you just started, but you recently started. What was the first figure you painted? Was it a hero or a monster? It seems to be the two things that most people do. Actually, my son started painting way later than me, but he's he's just getting it. I mean, he's gotten into it a lot more. And one of his first figures was actually a big dragon. I mean, like that big. Had a base, big base like that, and it's a good sized dragon. You can't see my hands in either photo. Okay, so that big, that big, that big. Dragon this big, base this big, good solid, and he did an awesome job. I'm like, freak. He's been painting for 3 months. He paints better than me. It's like, he did a really good job. I mean, he actually went through the trouble of he actually looked online, figured out how to put the base in gold. They're painting on, a canvas. You weren't painting miniatures. You're just painting just a picture. Cool. I don't know if I'm creative enough for that. I used to draw, and I could draw pretty good, but I was better at drawing actual things. I could draw rooms, and it was pretty cool. I used to like draw 3D rooms from a 3D perspective, where I'd sit on a couch in one side of the room and draw the room out as you see it, with all the stuff on the walls, and it came out pretty good. But my skill, my creativity comes in functionality. I'm a software developer, so I do really good with creating cool interactions between software and user input. But what I'm not good at is making it look cool. I can make it look professional, but I can't make it look cool. Okay, so I brought energy to painting. What I really brought is energy to talking, to streaming, because I haven't actually painted yet. This is only my third or so stream. So, oh my gosh, see? Goes to show how prepared I am. Look at that. My water's empty. I'll be right back. I'm going to run to my bathroom here and grab some water. Okay, let's try this again. I code in C# SQL Server. I can transact SQL, and I can do VB.NET, do a little bit of HTML, and I'm actually tomorrow. I had mentioned earlier. I don't know if you've heard. I actually have a 4-hour second interview. Got laid off back in October from a company I've been with for 14 years, but they did a random 10% cutback. They got rid of 10% of their workforce, or 8.9 or something like that. And I was one of those lucky people. So now I'm looking for work again. And so we'll see how that goes. But it's been picking up though. Lots of job interviews going on. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have something soon. Okay, let's go find me some chocolate brown. Let's see here. Now I probably don't have the best setup for my cameras. Still playing with them. Like my phone camera here probably could be a little bit more, better positioned. I haven't decided how best to do this so that it's both useful and viewable, but not in my way. I need to bring this closer to myself. So there we go. So let's see if I can get my eyebrows. Now if I had a better camera, thanks, appreciate it. First couple months I actually just took off. I mean, I helped, we finished remodeling our kitchen, and it was in October, so, holidays and junk. Sorry, gonna have to not talk for the next couple of seconds while I do this eyebrow, because I have I don't know, what do you want to call them? Jittery hands? No, my hands aren't too bad, but see, my amateur skills coming out again. I didn't have too much moisture on my brush. Ugh. Frijoles, man. Frijoles. Ugh. See, there's now you have too much. Now I gotta soak up the extra. Duh, look at that. She's gonna have a brown face. Oh no! Retreat, retreat. If I move quickly, I can keep it from drying. So let's get that off of her face. We'll call it highlights. No, shading. Yeah, I'm putting brown shading on her face. So I am on here because I want to paint and talk to people. Not, I'm probably maybe in time people will go, man, he's improved a lot since he started. But more than likely they're just gonna go, you know, this guy hasn't learned anything. He's still making the same mistakes. That's about me too. And what's sad is I don't even drink. But I still have those hands sometimes. You know, I think I've gotten better though. You know, I think it's true. They actually say that with practice, your hands will get more steady. You start learning a few tricks here and there that help. You know, it's like you can see me. Not only am I holding this, but I'm using my pinky here, and it stabilizes my hand while it moves. While I try to find my position on her. So it creates a little bit more stability. Surprisingly enough, I actually got her cleaned up a little bit there. I mean, I'm still going to have to go over her with some of her flesh tone. But I should be able to. It didn't get all that little disaster bit of paint. Actually, I cleaned up most of it, so that's good. What I've noticed too with painting is you can get steady. You learn some tricks, okay, for painting. One of them is not only stabilizing your hand by putting them on each other, like having the fingers touching or holding a base like that, but strokes. Don't just try to touch, because when you're trying to touch, that's when your hand starts doing the little shaky thing. When you do like a stroke, it's like it takes control of the muscle and makes it more smooth. All right, Agape, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. All right, so young lady, you need some eyebrows. I'm going to try and give them to you without turning your eyes brown. Now, brown, nothing to say anything's wrong with brown eyes, but right now, to be honest, you don't even have a color in your eyes except white, so you look like a, I don't know, what is it, those, well, I don't know, a possessed one? You look like a ghost woman. I'm here to kill you all. I'm here to shoot you with my bow, and I'm going to kill you. No, please, young halfling. All I want to do is give you eyebrows. Don't take it personally. Okay. I won't kill you yet. Just make sure you don't smear my eyebrows all over my face. I don't want to look like a jerk at the halfling ball. That's better than no eyebrows at all, don't you think? It's slightly, you know, they might look a little frivolous, but at least you have eyebrows. When you got here, you didn't even have eyebrows. I mean, you had 2 bumps on your forehead that everybody thought were just strange birthmarks. Yeah. 'Twas the story of the halfling without any eyebrows. Come on, paint. Stop trying on my brush. Be nice. You know what? Okay, so this little cool. I don't know if any of you have ever used it, but these are awesome. Okay, what it's mainly for is for dropping paint into my mixing paint. So I need one little droplet. But I also find it pretty useful just adding water to my little mini paint palettes. So somebody asked me, why do you make paint palettes that are so tiny? Well, I'll tell you why. My paint ballots have to fit in the X case. So, the X case, you say? What is an X case? Well, thanks for asking. Okay, so nobody asked, I know, but it really is just me talking about. Okay, that's plenty. Got plenty of water in there now. Just making sure that my wet palette stays wet. So. Let's see, do I know any good songs? Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. Me and the boys are playing, and we just can't find the sound. Just a few more hours, and I'll be right home to you. I used to know every single word of that song, but you know what? Don't remember them right now. Okay. Now, paint. I hereby command you to stay wet long enough for me to actually get you on the eyebrow without dripping. I refuse. No more spreading out like a plague. Okay, so as I mentioned before, trying to use the stroke technique, simply meaning when I'm putting paint on any fine line location, I try to move my hand while doing it. Do not just try to touch, because if you try to just touch, what you get are weird smushes. Especially if you got, well, unless you've got really good steady hands. I do not. I have crappy steady hands. There we go, that's better. Hello. Hello, hello. So, now the interesting thing about painting, if you have unsteady hands, is your hands really are very steady until they make contact with the figure. Then they go nuts. It's like, no, I don't want to touch that face. It's so ugly. You're so bad at this. You make me look bad as a hand. I don't want to be part of your body. You're so bad at this. Look, hands, you're the one who's doing it, not me. Don't try to blame me. All I did was tell you what to do, and you went and smeared the paint all over the figure's face. What kind of a bonehead hand are you? Okay, so I think that works. I mean, I think I got the eyebrows painted. Got paint all over the eyebrows, and I think that's gonna cut it. So I'll have to fix the face, because I got a little weird, got a little extra paint on her forehead, but I think I can fix that. And I need to get an eyebrow. I mean, I gotta get an eye pupil in there. This girl has no pupils. Now, you cannot see that because, well, my light is very bad on that camera. I don't have light right above it, and I have a light shining that's at least making her colors pop a little bit, but it's not providing any detail. So I'm going to try another thing, see if I can get some better lighting. So So I have these cool little adjustable lights. See, they're cool because they fold up and they fit, guess where? In the X case. Yes, you are right. How did you know that? I don't know, it was a lucky guess. I was just thinking, I wonder if he has lights that fit in the X case. And the answer is, well, I'm glad you asked. Yes, I do have lights that fit in the X case, as a matter of fact. And these are them. So here's a drawback to my little painting section here. It's really easy to set up because the X case, I know, shameless plugging. Sorry, I'll stop. But it does make it easy to transport because it has all my paints and minis, and I just fold it up and I take it wherever I need. Take it upstairs, take it to, take it. And my camera's really high, so you don't even see my hand actions. I mean, you're not seeing any of my expression. I mean, maybe I should lower my camera somehow. If your camera's too high, then, sir, why don't you just lower it? Well, let me tell you why I don't just lower it. I don't just lower it, wise guy, because my lamp here is really bright. And if the camera gets below the lamp, it gets washed out by the bright light because you get a big bright light in the camera and it can see it. Now it's above the light and it can't see the it can't see it. So all it sees is where the light is. So my shirt is bright, excuse me, but the camera itself, not so much. Let's see, how's that? Hey, it's a little brighter. So let's see if you can see my eyes now. Still doesn't focus very close though. Yeah, so I can't show you the eyes. It's just too much far awayness. It's about as close as I can get to this camera without it. I could try to get as close as that, but again, I don't think she can focus this. I don't think you can focus this close. Hello, can you focus this close? So this camera is actually a Galaxy S7. I don't know, can a Galaxy S9 do better? That's the phone I actually use on a day-to-day basis. But it looks like this is about it. This is about as close as I can make this guy focus. And you can't see the eyes. So, too bad. Too bad, so sad. Hey, I wonder if here's a cool trick. Let's see what the camera does when it looks through my glasses. All right, old man glasses. Do your stuff, man. Okay. Nope. It does make it bigger. Still doesn't let you see. Very good though. It's kind of a cool trick though. I know, I'm just playing because that's what I do. I get distracted with silliness. And I start doing weird things like trying to make my magnifying glasses work for the camera. And you can see all the cool detail in the ground, but can't see it in her face. You know why you can't see the detail in the face? Because there's no detail in her face. She is actually very... whatever. Kind of a cool trick though. It does make it a little easier to see it. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I went an hour. You know what I did? I painted eyebrows. Oh, God. Let's put something on her face so I could at least say I fixed her face. She's kind of a halfling. I'm going to use elf skin tone, I think. I don't remember what skin tone I used for her, so I'm going to guess that it was elf. Elf skin tone. So I don't know if you haven't painted before, and you buy a bunch of Vallejos or game color, and you don't know this trick. I bought a bunch of little stainless steel balls, no marbles, that you can stick inside your cases, and it acts as an agitator. And that's what I got inside some of my paint bottles. Got a bunch of them. You can buy a little thing of them at on Amazon. Comes with like 100 of them, and you can just throw them in your paint bottles as you go. And the trick is, if you can hear the agitator hit the bottom and the top, but then your paint should be, well, it's thin enough. Might still need to be mixed, but if it can hit the top and the bottom, then your paint is thin enough. It's well, not necessarily thin enough for painting. It just means you don't have dry chunks inside of there. That's really all that means. Might still be too thick. I don't know. You might still have to thin it out. I have not mastered the art of thinning paint. I do know you want it very thin, and just layers are best, because if you want it to look smooth and not look chunky on your paint, you don't want to have like paint strokes and everything else on your figures. You want to do layers. You just want to keep layering it with thin paint. The first few strokes might not even look like they're doing anything. They're just putting a layer of mostly transparent brown on there. But you put a few layers of it, it'll start to cover up and it'll look smooth. You want it so watery though that it's running around, it's leaking off into the corners, because then you just end up with brown lines, or wherever the seams are in your model. But if you have it just thin enough where it's almost transparent, then that's good, as long as it's not runny. Thin and not runny is the trick. Alright. Elf skin tone it is. Let's fix your face, girly. Your face is looking a little, I don't know, brown, no too much sun. Just dirty, yeah. Let's say you got too much, you ran through the mud by way of walking on your face. It was more of a face plant. You were going through the forest. You live in a forest. It happens, sometimes as a gnome ranger, you face plant because, plants and sticks and stuff. Yeah, I know. Not everybody can be Legolas, who just kind of, walks on precarious things and never even so much as flinches in balance. Not everybody can do that. Even the best of wood gnomes, they're not going to be Legolas. Who walks on the top of snow? I mean, really. Legolas is 6 feet tall, and the dude can walk on top of snow. 6 foot tall, probably weighs 180 pounds. And when he walks on freshly fallen snow, you're like, not fair. How can anybody walk so light? I mean, there's a difference between walking light and being light. Somehow, he makes being light and walking light the same thing, and I don't know how he did it. Oh, and don't tell me it was a trick of the cameras. I saw that movie. It was real. He was actually walking on snow. I know it. Don't tell me that he's not real either, because I know they recruited real dwarves and elves to get Gimli and Legolas out there. They may not have actually been their real names. I mean, who uses their real names in movies? But, I mean, the only way you're going to get somebody to walk on snow, you got to get yourself somebody who can walk on snow. And it has to be a highly talented elf. Sorry. Yep. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. That's the argument, and I'm sticking to it. You can't convince me otherwise, because you are not talking to me. Who's you? The person who's in their head going right now, who is this nut talking about people walking on top of freshly fallen snow? If you're not talking to me, then you're not debating it. You believe. You must believe as well. So, here's one of the things. When I make mistakes, those microscopic guys, this is why I like to paint really tiny guys. Really tiny mistakes don't show up very well. It could splatter all over his face, and you still can't see it. Just trying to clean up essentially a splatter that went all over her face. One of these days I'll know how to paint faces. It's really not, shouldn't be this hard, but faces are work of very talented people. I've seen some pretty amazing work on just faces. And I just paint, just put a little shade here, and a little bit of eyebrow there, and poof, perfect face. Looks like he's following you around when you walk. And then they say, go do that at home. Just do it like I did. It's easy. You know, yeah, easy. That's the word I'd say. You liar. Just because you're talented and I'm not. It's easy. But it's fun. I gotta say, easy or not, it's fun. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm the first to admit, I've never been all that visually creative. Art was never my thing. Like I said, I'm fairly good at drawing, but only existing things, real life stuff. And I have to see it. Simply drawing a creature out of my mind, just saying, hey, let's draw a bird. The only thing I could ever draw without looking at it was Snoopy. Because as a kid, I drew Snoopy doing everything. I was a Snoopy fan. That was my kid art phase in my life. I drew Snoopy. As a kid, I liked to draw, and Snoopy was the thing. And I think I used to draw him. I actually drew him reclining in the back with an umbrella and a Mai Tai. Okay, it was a tropical drink. Let's call it that. Because we all know Peanuts characters don't actually drink. Joe Cool was cool, man. He didn't need no alcohol. He was cool without alcohol. Man, I really want to paint this. I really want to paint this guy again. I don't know. I feel like I could do better, but maybe some of the flaws on this are just in the model. Yes, in the model. I said it. It's the model's fault. It's not my fault. It can't possibly be my fault. Right? It can't be my fault. I mean, heck, I've been painting for 5 years. Combined time, maybe a month. But there's no way. I have to be a professional by now, right? Time simply in its existence is enough to counteract. All right, so I'm doing it. I'm giving her brown eyes, brown pupils. So here's the trick. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to paint eyes. I mean, I know how to paint eyes. I just don't, I'm just not good at it. So the trick is figure out a way to make this girl's have brown pupils without making the whites of her eyes vanish into a thing that was on there yesterday. So here we go. See all my little gadgets? This little thing came from my wife. Okay, she has these, I don't know what the heck. She has some weird little trim healthy mama. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a thing that well, I guess it was made for women, but I suppose other people can do it too. I mean, why not? It's just a diet, right? It's different kinds of food that are supposed to be healthy. And anyway, one of the things that she bought for Mom came with this little thing, which I think would be a measuring spoon. I don't know how big this is, but it's tiny. It says 10 something on it. What is that? 10 milliliters? It can't be 10 milliliters. It's 10 something. Doesn't matter. I don't use that side. I use the back. I use the back to stir my paint because it's stiff and small, and I can stir it. I don't like to stir with my brush because it kind of, you get too much paint on the brush and you can kind of wreck the brush. Now the other thing you can paint with is stir with. Anything that's rigid helps, because then you can do small areas. But you can paint with or stir with a paper clip. I have one of those over there too. I use my paper clip to poke holes in my paint when it gets hard on the tip. So that's my use of it. All right, so I had to mix that a little bit. So we're gonna try to put pupils on this girl with my 000 round. I don't know. They have round, and then they have, what's the other one called? I mean, obviously there's flat. Oh, and there's rigger. I don't know what the heck. Rigger brushes are these. I think it's just because they're longer hairs. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, though. I mean, I don't know what their descriptive difference is. Somebody says a rigger is long hairs, fine tip. And a round is a short hair fine tip? I don't know. Don't know. Alright, so my brush is wet. Okay, so one of the tricks I like to do with my paints sometimes, and this works actually surprisingly well, is I take some retarder. And then I put the retarder on my... I apologize, my little camera here is kind of slow. I put some retarder in my thing here. Just a tiny little drop on my paint. I don't put it in the paint. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't like to put it in the paint. I just put a little bit off to the side of my little wet palette there. And then, if I remember where it's at, I can use it every time I want to, every time I use my wet palette. But if you put this into your brush, just kind of roll your brush into it. Just a little bit. Doesn't even have to go all the way to the tip. The idea is that when you put paint on it, that retarder will help keep the paint that's on your brush from drying. Yep, that's my trick. It's my trick, and I'm sticking to it because so far it's worked. I don't know, what does that say? Something about streaming as such, viewers will what? I don't know. It's a YouTube telling me YouTube is not receiving enough video. Maintain smooth streaming as such. Viewers will experience buffering. Oh, sorry about that. Apparently you're experiencing buffering. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my camera's got too much, my computer's got too much going on. I don't know. Not receiving enough video, maintain smooth streaming as such. Okay. Well, I guess you're getting a little bit of buffering, and I apologize for that. I'm not sure how to fix it at the moment. Could be this Droid Cam app I'm using. I don't know. Trying to get my Droid camera to show its thing. But I don't know if there's a way to make one show up and one go away. What time? Let's see. I have been at this for 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I don't know. What does it say? Open widget. What does that mean? Oh. It's just showing me my errors. I've got poor quality. Poor quality. I am not a good quality candidate. Oh, that's what they keep telling me when I go out for my job interviews. Okay, so I'm going to call it because noise is coming in and my computer is going out. So I'm going to call it for now. I will be back at another time, maybe tomorrow. Bye.